Hi, everybody. It is the last day of June. Pride Month will still go on because it lasts all year. So anyone who thinks it's over now, nope. We're gonna be still talking about men in saunas and women who are athletes that are secret lovers and they're just gonna do their shit. But anyway,
we are now moving on to Wrath.
It is July coming up tomorrow in about 4 hours, so July baby season will be in effect, for me at least. And all my July...
to get drunk on the 4th.
No, not happening. I'll probably get some Guinness or something. A lot of Guinness. I remember the 4th of July where I read the first few chapters of Empress Teresa on stream. And I remembered I did that for 4 hours and I got extremely pissed off. And then after I got done with the stream, I'm like, I can't believe I just did this on 4th of July. What am I doing with my time? And then one of the people that I used to date was like, oh my God, I wish we were still dating. So I'm like, wait a minute, why is this getting so weird now? Anyway. So tonight we're going to... Oh, let me start the Mario Party. So tonight we're going to be talking about mostly stuff that we talked about in the fun half in the last hour, or the second half of the show, because I know we were talking about a particular anime that got like Circus and Mooney interested, because there were some episodes that I did leave out because we didn't have enough time. But tonight, there was we're going to talk about a debate that happened on YouTube, Twitch, whatever live streaming service that you prefer. But since everyone's listening on YouTube, you definitely would think it's YouTube. But there was a live debate that happened between Tim Pool, who is known as Beanie Boy around these parts, and is mostly known for, just being like I'm the middle of the road person, I don't take sides on the political spectrum type of deal, he tries to paint himself in that picture, even though he barely has anybody from, anybody that considers themselves a good person. But he's like, I'm always open for debate I'm always up for a debate. And then so Emma Vigeland, who is a very prominent YouTuber, is part of one of the top shows on YouTube, The Majority Report, which has over 1 million followers. She was invited on to do the show, to have a debate with Tim, so to speak. And it had been brewing for a while because on Emma's show, which she is a co-host of, but on Thursday she hosts the show when Sam Cedar, the host, is not there. There was a particular instance when... here's the thing you need to understand about Tim Pool. He is like the prototypical skater dude, bro. Like, he literally has a half pipe underneath his house. He has a mansion. He's got an Olympic... He's got an Olympic half pipe, like what Rocket Power would have underneath his house. And he's like next to like he's like next to a skate park or something. And he also
Does he have his own Surf Tito?
Nothing, no Surf Shack Tito related shit, but pretty close. I don't
want to mention Rocket Power.
I did, but I don't think
maybe he would have turned out better if he had his own Surf Shack Tito.
I don't know if he knows any Polynesian people, to be fair. Although that would be better, because honestly, Tito made that show. But for Tim Pool, he also fashions himself as a singer, and he's also a very big fan of emo bands. Or at least I think he's a fan of emo bands. Definitely the Linkin Park era of rock music in the 2000s. So he released the song, I think a year ago. I'm not going to play the song because it's copyrighted, but let me just say the song is horrible. To the point where Emma said that it almost sounds like, or not Emma, but the show was saying, and I think some of the fans in the live chat were saying, like, wow, it sounds like a poor man's version of Nickelback. and then somebody said, wow, that's an insult to Nickelback, because at least they have talent.
And at least they have a fan named Walter the Cat.
Yeah. And everybody likes to make, I mean, look at this photograph. I mean, that's a meme in and of itself. So they got something going for them.
Got to marry Avril Lavigne.
Yeah, that too.
And divorced.
And divorced. I mean, that happens in the celebrity world. But he got, so they were making fun of the fact that he made a terrible song. And so he got really upset about that. To the point where he even said that Emma's show deliberately messed with the song to make it sound horrible than it actually was. Like, he actually accused them of editing the song before they played it live on their show, which they responded with, the only thing that we have is a soundboard. We don't have the technology to actually edit audio shit. And it's like, oh, you cut the midis out of the song. That's why it sounded horribly when you played it on your show. And I was like, wow, dude, you are coping so hard over the fact that, you know, people said they didn't like your song and they made fun of it. Like, you know, you could just laugh along with it. You don't have to necessarily get, like, that offended over it. But he had been harping on that for so long. And so eventually he decided to invite Emma onto the show because her boss, Sam Cedar, also Tim does not like, has, you know, ranted all about how he didn't like the fact that Cold Feet, who we talked about on the show previously, like a couple of years ago, got destroyed. What would be the right terminology to use? A trap card was activated against Cold Feet, and then ran away from the debate when it happened. So it's like, oh, I can't believe that they would do this to Cold Feet. Like, how dare he do this? I will never invite them on the show now, because I know that they're grifters, they're bad faith actors type of deal. And it's like, okay, buddy. If that's going to be your justification for not doing debates with them because they actually come in with a lot of knowledge and facts, if you're worried that they're going to kill your show, it's like, of course this is going to be the fact that you land on. Oh, by the way, also, Beanie Boy, also, he had a debate with Sam Cedar also, and, like, during a debate, like, he actually, like, they were talking about a serious topic about whether people should take their time out to go vote on election day. And during the middle of the debate, he brings up Thanos and the Avengers as an appropriate as like what he thought was like an appropriate thing to bring up about a topic like that. And it's like, why are we talking about Thanos and Marvel shit? Like, what does this have to do with election day and stuff like that? And even the debate, and even Sam was like, I don't care about Thanos. I don't care about Avengers shit. I've never even seen the movies.
He does that comparison because in the sorry, I know this is kind of related, but in the comics, Thanos is a nice guy, creep.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there because I just thought that was funny.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, why are you bringing Thanos up to somebody who has... Why are you bringing Thanos up to a person who's like in their late 50s and does not give a damn about Marvel movies? Like, why are you using that as a debate point? And of course, that ultimately gave Sam the nickname Thanos. Because now everybody's like, oh my god, he's like Thanos. Everybody's afraid to go up against him in a debate. And they literally are. Like, apparently there's like a blacklist out there of like shows that will not have Sam on because it's... And by the way, nobody will tell each other who those shows are because they're like, oh, we can't mention the shows that did this because if we mention it, he's going to use that as bait against us. But so anyway, Tim invites Emma on the show. In West Virginia, that's where he does his Tim Pool IRL show. But this one was called like the Culture War podcast or something, where he tries to like have leftists come on the show or whatever. So at first, Tim said like, okay, we're going to do this show on Friday. It's going to be recorded. We're going to release the episode at around like 1 p.m. in the afternoon. That's when we're going to premiere it. But then, I think it was like 2 days or like a few hours before the interview, Tim turns around and says, "Oh, by the way, no, we're not going to record it. We're actually going to do this live, Emma. And not only that, I'm also going to bring in one of my friends to be a part of the discussion." So an elaborate ruse to try to throw Emma off her game, so to speak, because that's like a move. It's like, you say you're going to pre-record the show, and then you're going to premiere it on YouTube, and then you're going to turn around and say it's live, and then also mention that you're bringing one of your friends on who ultimately is who has the aura of also somebody that has small dick energy like Tim does. Like, they both seem to have that, like, set that incel type of energy. And when they discuss things, and this is, I think, like one of the few times that they actually had a woman on the show that they could debate with, and they were like, "Oh, after the show we can all have sushi together and everything." And I'm like, wow, they are really trying to give her the ultimate treatment. They got her like a driver and everything. Like, okay, we're gonna have somebody take you from the airport to the hotel. We'll pick you up from the hotel. We'll bring you over to the building and everything. And
What?
like, yeah. Like, apparently every time Tim has a guest, he's got to have a driver pick them up from the hotel, drive him to his mansion in West Virginia. It's right next to a skate park. So it's like, okay, we're going to have one of our guys, like, take you through the whole house, show you he calls his mansion the compound. We're going to show you the compound. We'll show you the skate park. We'll show you all the guitars that I have on my wall. It's going to, as we go through, you'll probably see Tim playing his electric guitar and everything, and then we'll bring you into the studio and we'll have you come in and chat. And then maybe afterwards we can all go out to the restaurant and have some sushi, and we'll just hang out and talk afterwards, after we just had a very ideological debate. And
Everybody, your next David Koresh. Because he's called the place a compound. For fuck's sake!
Yeah, he calls his mansion the compound. Which, by the way, Emma,
that he's the next Messiah. He's definitely the reincarnation of fucking David Koresh.
Yeah, and he was really, and it almost seemed like, according to Emma, it seemed like they were really trying to impress her, like, oh, look at all this fancy shit that I have. Look at the fact that I'm a skateboarder that lives right next to a skate park. I got all these guitars. Look at how much money I have. The fact that I can hire a driver. I know a good sushi place. And Emma's like, I'm not going for sushi afterwards. I'm going straight back to the hotel, and then I'm going back to New York, where I'm from. Hi, Sketchity.
I ain't sketch.
But it really seemed like they were excited to finally have a woman come into their studio. So it just felt really awkward. The fact, like, okay, we're going to debate this woman, and then we're going to take her out for sushi, and she's going to be so impressed by us. And she was like, no, not impressed at all. And so there are a couple of moments. The first thing they talked about on the debate was the whole song issue. Like, he immediately goes into it, and she's like, "Wow, I didn't think you were going to actually get upset over this whole thing," which was a deliberate which was a thing that really set Tim off, because I guess he's just very. He's insecure about the fact that people just don't like him. He comes off as somebody that just because he always uses this line in debates, like, oh, you don't know me, you don't watch my videos, you don't watch my content all that much, so you don't really know what I'm like and everything. And I was like, oh my god, dude, people can just know enough about you to get a general idea. They don't need to watch your content 24/7. Or they don't need to watch every single video or episode that you do. But apparently in his mind, no, you have to know everything about him before you can make a decision. I'm like, no, that is in the history of humankind, that has never been the case. You cannot know somebody fully 100%. Because even then, even if you do 1,000 podcast episodes and 1,000 different events, or if you really try to put stuff up there about you, I found it funny that Tim Pool is a conservative and he chooses bootleg Nickelback as his music style. Yes. But he hates that he's being compared to Nickelback, even though Nickelback, like we said, has got talent. At least they've made some hit songs. I know everybody, they're like the butt of all the jokes, but I mean, hey, there's some amount of respect for them. But it's like, yeah, don't insult Nickelback by saying he sounds like them. No, he's just like, he's not even Linkin Park, and I'm not a fan of Linkin Park, but at least Linkin Park is talented. I almost, I said,
I was about to say, you're about to fight with a Linkin Park fan over here.
No, I will give credit where credit is due. They're a lot more talented than I am in a lot of ways. I mean, yes, they've made some hit songs that a lot of people like, but the last thing I'm going to do is say that, oh, this one guy sounds like Linkin Park. No, forget it. They doesn't.
Nobody's going to ever be Chester Bennington.
No. But that was the thing. Like, he gets so like they usually pick country, folk, or some rock and roll. I don't know. It's probably because he's from the Northeast and he really is into like the Linkin Park Nickelback crowd from the New York in the 2000s. But yeah, so like he got like overly sensitive about the fact that it's like, oh, let's talk about this firsthand and everything before they talked about the discussion. You know, one of the things they talked about crime in New York. They talked about one of the things that they talked about was that I don't know if anyone's heard of this book called Genderqueer, but it was a book that was banned in Florida in one of the counties, and apparently it was banned because it's a graphic novel, and it showed okay, so here's the context of Genderqueer. Genderqueer is I'm trying to find out like the right word for this. It's a memoir of an asexual person that comes to the realization that they're asexual, and they're trying to learn about, okay, what is it that makes me ace? What is it about me that, do I like sex? Do I want to actually participate in sex? So there's a point in the memoir where they practice with like a dildo and trying to do blowjobs on the dildo. And
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's like they're actually learning to see if like this is something that they want to do. And it turns out the person does not like it at all. And so they decide like, no, like sex is not part of my deal. I don't want to be a part of it. And it's like, okay, it's like a reveal. Like, okay, this is what I want to, this is what I want to learn and everything about myself. So that's what the book is about. A lot of LGBTQ, it was an adult graphic novel. And it was put in a high school in Florida, I believe. So this wasn't even in middle or elementary schools. But the way that parents said this was that, oh my God, we're teaching all our kids about, like people were comparing it to actual porn, which it was not even porn, not even close. But the thing was like, here's the thing about sexual education. Like the kids need to start learning about that as young as the age of 6. Like, people and even in middle school, like a lot of experts have said that you need to start learning about vaginal, anal, and oral sex by the time you're in 6th grade, because this will ultimately make you less of targets of sexual abuse and everything. Because the more sex education you get,
Sorry.
Because the more sexual education you have, the more chances you are to protect yourself from abuse and everything. And so, this type of graphic novel was in a high school of all places. It wasn't in a middle school. It wasn't in an elementary school. And of course, since it's Florida, they banned it in one of the counties. And so Tim Pool at Beanie Boy and a lot of other people in his space have been saying that this is a kink book that is used to try to get kids to enjoy porn. And, of course, Emma pushes back on that. And, of course, they try to get her on the whole gotcha thing. It's like, aha, you actually support this book that tries to teach children how to be porn, like try to teach kids how to be in porn and everything. But the thing was, like, she made the point, like, okay, you're for censorship and I'm not. I was like, I don't need to, because there are so many other books in libraries. We don't need to start banning books just because you don't like them. And sometimes these are educational because this is a memoir about an asexual person coming to terms with the fact of do I want to be a part? Do I want to take a part in sexual activities? And turns out they didn't, and that's important to know, because there's not that many people that know what an asexual goes through. And as somebody who is still coming to terms with my asexuality for about a year, I'm still trying to learn things about myself that I didn't necessarily learn when I was a kid, and I'm still going through that process. So hearing it from other aces really does help. And, also hearing it from a heterosexual perspective will also give you better inclinations of that. And so they thought that, Beanie Boy thought this would be a big gotcha moment on that particular side. And of course, what's the next, after the debate, what's the first thing Beanie Boy does? He tries to paint the fact that Emma's a groomer, Emma's a child abuser that wants to show people porn. And then, of course, Elon Musk, chimed in and said it was disturbing, which, of course, Emma, took great pride in. She was, laughing in their faces, using a Bob's Burgers meme of, God, I can't remember the younger daughter's name, but she was laughing.
Louise.
Yeah, Louise. Yeah, she had a meme of Louise laughing like in hellfire all around her. So, very cool meme. And so the next thing they talked about was and so they talked about a lot of other topics, including the war in Ukraine and everything. And there was even one moment where they talked about the Club Q shooter over in Colorado. And there was a point where the shooter revealed that he was watching a couple of Beanie Boys YouTube videos before the tragedy happened. And there was even because I think it was on the shooter's Instagram and everything, but there was some clips that he posted from Beanie Boy's show, and there was some I think there was 3 videos, and Beanie Boy even platformed a neo-Nazi at one point. And of course the shooter ultimately watched those videos and got inspiration from them. So at one point during the debate, when they were talking about this issue, Emma pointed out right away, it's why do you think that your show appeals to neo-Nazis? And oh my God, the amount of I've never seen a grown person's face turn red with such horrible lighting in a studio. The way the studio lighting worked was that it grayed out everything. So imagine that you're looking at a television and all the color is taken out of it. There's some color in there, but it's mostly gray looking. It's just it's just lifeless. And so Emma had highlights in her hair, and you can't even see the highlights in her hair. That's how bad the lighting was. And it's very tough to see people get red, but even then you could see Tim's face get so red after she said that. And so she didn't even have to say anything after that. She just sat back and just allowed Tim to just go off. And it's saying oh my God, are you really, are you an idiot? He just called her an idiot right to her face. And she's like, wow, that's so cringe, bro. And that just pissed, or something to that effect. She was like, oh wow. And that just pissed him off even more. And it was as visibly as it kept going on for 5 minutes, you could just see how red he kept getting. He was getting so agitated over that, because he likes to paint himself as in the middle. He does not like to think that he's a guy that just has just a bunch of conservatives and neo-Nazis on his show, because then his entire business model gets exposed, which is another reason why they don't like to have Emma and Sam on their shows, because then it just exposes their business model, and it just shows how unreliable they can be, even though they got proven time and time again. But it's almost like kryptonite to them, especially with somebody that knows enough about their shows and everything. So it went viral. That moment went viral on Twitter and online and a lot of other places too, because there were so many people that were just I can't. There were. It was one of the defining moments of Beanie Boy's life when he realized he got that triggered by a woman, even going so far as to say that Emma was being told to by a man to say those things about his show, and which also goes into the whole misogyny thing, because it's wait a minute, can't Emma have her own opinions on things, or can't have her own facts? But apparently not in Tim's mind. It's like, oh, so your boss Sam convinced you to say that. She probably got into your ear and say, oh, can you say that on Tim's show? Say that on Tim's show so it can get it riled up. Because everything to him is like one conspiracy about, oh, your boss Sam is gonna feed you all of this stuff about me because you don't know what a type of human being I am. You really think I'm a nice guy. Type of deal. I bring people on, I have a skate park, I make music, there's nothing bad about me. And of course, knowing the facts about him, it gets exposed right on your show, and it's live, by the way. This is not pre-recorded. This was actually a live show. It was supposed to be recorded beforehand, but because Beanie Boy needed to one-up Emma and needed to bring another friend on to try to balance it out in his own mind, it ended up going up against him, and everybody saw it live, and then it immediately went viral afterwards. So, whoopsie! Which, by the way, that line has actually been used as a sound, used as a sound on some soundboards. Which, by the way, I think I'm going to play the clip of that actual viral moment happening. And then I'll play some clips from the debate, too, because there may be some things that I probably missed out on.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, Alex.
Hi, Alex. July's coming up, dude. We gotta. I got some ideas to do for July. Since Mission Impossible's coming out, gonna try to reach out to the childhood friends, see if they want to go see it, because for all of us down here, we're really big Mission Impossible fans.
God.
I remember the last one that came out. We the couple of, I think, what was it? I think Lucas and I went to go see it, and yeah, we had such a blast. It was so much fun. Although I will say this, we don't like Tom Cruise.
Who doesn't anymore?
You're right.
Well, no, there are plenty of people that still love him. Even in his 60s, they're like, I would date him. Like, but he's 60 and you're 30. That's creepy. And they're like, I don't care.
The whole Scientology thing just creeps me out. That's pretty much.
And they said, and they'll say like, oh, I can live with that. He's got money. I'm like, oh God.
Not this shit again.
This is the guy who won't even talk to his own kid because she's not into Scientology anymore. Come on.
Yeah. He got Katie Holmes into it, and look what happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let me get the clip up. Well, first of all, let me share it so that everyone can. Let me share it so everyone can see it. Because the last thing is because I remember the last time that they tried to do this with a YouTube video. I'm like, oh, I have to watch it on the actual thing. Let me see. Okay. I got it live here, so you can see that. And then I'll also show the Twitter thread of what happened also. I can't pause it. Okay, let me pause Mario Party for a second. And then let me get to... Okay, so this was this was part of the viral moment that happened. There is more to it. Maybe I'll show more of it as it goes on. But this was the first thing that was posted about the debate that happened. If I could go full screen. See, look at that beanie. And he's like, well, I forgot to mention this too. He's got like a Revolutionary Civil War style pistol right there and a samurai sword right there just to show what a manly man he is. And then that guitar in the background. See, this is what he wants people to know about him. Beanie Boy.
What the fuck is that picture?
I have no clue.
It looks like a chicken nugget.
Who knows? Maybe he's into chicken nuggets.
I have a picture of a chicken nugget on your wall.
All right, here we go. This is one of the first clips that was posted when the thing was going down.
Grifters. This is what you do. I can.
Oh, by the way, he's been calling them grifters for like the past 2 years. Like, oh, you're the grifters. You're the ones that grifted. I'm not the one that grifted, because in the beginning, like Beanie Boy was like very pro people and trying to get their rights. Like when Occupy Wall Street happened in New York, he was like on the ground with that and was really supporting that, but then completely changed his views once money got into the picture. Anyway,
this is what you do. I can invite you on for a real conversation, and what do? You're just for neo-Nazis. This is why you guys don't get invited places, because you're not having real conversations.
I don't really care about getting invited places.
Yeah, right. So go live in your grifter echo chamber where you guys can play songs with bad audio and then say, whoopsie, grifters.
Yeah. So right there, right fucking there. It's like, I don't care if I don't get invited to places. Like, that's all you need. That's all you fucking need to tell people. It's like, you don't need to, like, the whole point of doing debates is to not, like, is not trying to be nice to them. You know, your whole point of doing debates is to go there, exposing them for who they are, and then not get invited back. Like, you want to show people exactly who they are on their own shows. It's not about, you know, shaking hands with them and going to have sushi on a pretend date afterwards. You know, that's one of the things that people need to understand. Like, if you're going into a debate, you go into it thinking that this is the one time that you're only debating them, and that's it. Like, you're not supposed to be going into this thing of like, oh, we're going to have debate number 7. Because it's like, well, they're my friend. Even though we disagree on things, you know, we could still have lunch together afterwards. Like, no, that type of thing does not work anymore in, like, the 2023.
Yeah, everybody's out to choke each other out because of different opinions.
Well, it's not just the opinions. It's the fact that they have the wrong opinions because they're based on incorrect facts. Like, people will just believe anything nowadays. So you have to try to make sure that when you're, like, meeting people, it's about, like, okay, what facts do they have to the table? And if they do have any facts, are they just using bad information just so that they can keep them out a certain amount of credibility amongst their own community or something? So it means you have to really pay attention to those because you get an idea of who these people are and everything, because that's important.
Alright. Be right back again.
Okay. Alright, so here's another clip. Let me screen share again. This was like one of the defining moments about the debate that happened. Sorry, I'm gonna pause Mario Party again. If the full screen will go. There we go.
Organizations who have formally recognized this include American Academy of Pediatrics, American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, American Academy of Family Physicians, American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, American College of Physicians, American Medical Association, American Pediatric Association, dozens and
Remember
dozens
when doctors
of the
said
most...
smoking was good for you? You're not citing science. You're citing government approval.
No, I'm not. I am citing...
And that's fine.
What does the government have to do with it? These are medical organizations.
Okay, sure. Fair point.
Boom. So this was about, so that part of the conversation was about, vaccinations, because at some point they were talking about vaccines. And the fact that the Beanie Boy was like, oh, the government's doing all this shit. Like, no, this was recommended by a lot of medical health organizations around the country. Because, you want to go to those people when you want to get your health information. You don't necessarily want to get it from, quack doctors and everything. You want to go to, people with refutable sources that have been recommended by peer-reviewed studies that are based in the scientific community and everything. You don't just go to Dr. Nick from The Simpsons to get your medical information. And you certainly don't go to Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz for that matter. You don't go to those TV doctors out there. Because I can't remember which stand-up comedian said it, but they said, if you're going to get your advice from a TV doctor, you might as well get it from Dr. Dre or Dr. Seuss, because at least the bad advice they give you will rhyme. That's if I'm remembering the quote correctly. But yeah, that was a particular one. And and I think this was from the I think this is like the moment when, Beanie Boy was starting to get heated, and I think that, you're starting to see the red in his face. So again, let me share this again. Let me get the thing up here.
Like a psyop to have this profile appear one day after the shooting, where it's got like a bunch of screenshots on it or something?
Sure.
It really does sound to me like someone told you to say things and you don't know what you're referencing.
I'm not shocked that is the only way that you're going to try to react to this.
To react to what? Okay, no, this is fairly obvious. So I'm willing to bet Sam was like, hey, ask him about this and say these exact
No, I
things.
came up with,
Come up with original thoughts.
It is my original thought.
So
Yeah, so apparently Emma can't have her own thoughts because apparently she's a woman, and she's got to get him from her own. She's got to get it from a man, apparently. It's like, that's the type of man Beanie Boy is. You know, it's especially when she gets him on, like, particular facts and everything. That's when you know it's getting bad right there. Let me find some more if I can. And if not, I'll just go right to the Twitter thread that had happened. And if not, then like I said, if not, I'll just go to the Twitter thread that finally was released from Sam, talking about. Oh, and there were some reactions afterwards from the. There was some post. There was like some post tweets from Tim Pool afterwards after the debate happened. All right, here we go. All right, so this tweet says to Tim Pool she was making fun of the fact that she didn't get to see the skate park, and it was a total joke on her front after the debate was over. But Beanie Boy here took it literally, like, oh my god, like, what do you mean she didn't actually? Oh, she's lying about the whole thing. It's like, dude, it's just a joke. Like Tim says, the entire front of the property you have to drive on to get to is in the skate park. She's lying, and it's a weird thing to lie about unless you know your audience will never check. Emma was offered a tour sushi and hang out with the crew. And then Emma says, Tim, you get bummed out about the most high school stuff. This is clearly us joking around. I booked it out of there after the show because my mission was complete, and quite frankly, the compound's not my vibe. My disagreements with you are based on politics, not on matters. Which is a good point. I mean, just because, like, you're nice to somebody does not necessarily mean that you're going to want to, they're not going to get to you about your politics and anything. But, like, listen, the whole idea of, like, going to a skate park full of, or with a bunch, like a mansion full of skate parks, guitars, that's not everybody's vibe, dude. And not everybody likes to go get sushi afterwards. You know, some people like other cuisines. And even if you do like sushi, maybe it's not necessarily they don't want to have sushi with you. Maybe it's you. Maybe the problem is you. Maybe it's your friends. Maybe she doesn't want to hang out with you because of just like your whole thing. And of course her mission was done with, so she doesn't necessarily need to do anything else. Oh, and here's the other thing, I believe also that he said, by the way, there's a picture of him skateboarding, which I'm going to post right here, because this is apparently like one of his half pipes out of the outside of his house. And he's like, this is exactly it though. They lie about everything. The entire parking lot out front is a skate park with a 7-foot quarter, 20-inch wide quarter, 2 ledges, 2 rails, 3 movable 3/4 quarters. There's no way to enter the property without seeing the skate park. Oh my god. He keeps going about the fucking skate park. And then Sam, Emma's boss, says, reminder, A, Tim doesn't do drama. B, when you are made to look foolish on your own show discussing material issues, always harp on whether your guest actually saw your playground.
Damn.
They're not holding back anything on that front. Yes, Tim was trying to buy Emma. Exactly, Sketchity. He was trying to buy her, and when she did take it, it's like, oh, now I gotta go back. Now I gotta get at her for shit that she said. And then making fun of his skate park, which, by the way, you should make fun of his skate park because he won't shut up about his skate park. Like if you talk bad about his skate park, he gets very offended by that. Oh, there's one tweet that says the best part about the Emma versus Beanie Boy debate was when he said he was 99% anti-war and completely against the America funding Ukraine's defense, but didn't know enough about it to have a stance on America funding Israel. Incredible scenes. When you don't. Oh yeah, and I think there was also talk of them having a poker night afterwards after the sushi. I'm like, no. No, thank you. As much as I like poker, no, I wouldn't do that either. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a long thread that was that was revealed. It was a DM thread that Sam Cedar, Emma's boss, revealed of a conversation that they had 3 years ago with Beanie Boy, because Beanie Boy at the time was asking liberals to come on his show and debate during the pandemic. And apparently they were doing everything in studio during a time when there was no vaccines ready. Like, this was middle of the pandemic as it was going on. And everybody was locked down and everything. And then Sam was like, okay, I agreed to do it, but I didn't realize that you only do in-person interviews. Like, don't you do interviews with people over Skype and Zoom? And they said, oh, we don't have the technology to do that type of shit. I'm like, but wait a minute. Like, you have millions of dollars. How is that the case? All right, so here's the actual thread, and then one of my favorite streamers actually, like, the voices that they did for it was pretty cool. Okay, so here are the DM details, and I'll read them out to everybody. Oh, sketchy, because one thing is that some conservatives try to humanize themselves and try to ruin people's reputation at the same time. Yeah. It's like I said, he's doing the whole I'm a nice guy type of deal. Like, if only people understood me more, if they watched every single one of my videos and every single one of my podcasts, if they just watched me 24/7, they would know what type of person I am. Why do these people have to keep attacking me over views that are completely wrong and have not been supported by the majority of people or by science itself? Like, can't these people just understand I'm a nice guy that wears beanies, likes to do skateboarding and play guitars and everything, and then and then pretend that I'm like a Nickelback type of singer? Like, why can't people just accept that part of me? And the answer is because, Beanie Boy, everybody thinks you're shit. The only people that don't are the people that that subscribe to your channel. Because
wait, he said he didn't have the equipment to download Skype and do like interviews.
Yeah,
on the computer. What the fuck?
Yeah, they have a
when you said that.
They have a podcast studio, and apparently they didn't have the technology to do Zoom or Skype. They can only do in-person interviews during a pandemic. Don't worry, I got
asshole to download. Hello.
And he's got millions of dollars too, by the way. All right,
You're so dumb.
All right, here's the actual DM thread right here. This was posted last Friday.
Hell, we were even using fucking like StreamYards or Discord by the time the pandemic came around. What the fuck?
Yeah, we had no budget, and we were able to do a live show just by Skype and StreamYard and all those things. So anyway, so the blue.
You can't even figure out how to do all this. Come on.
So the blue is Sam, and the gray thing is Beanie Boy. So, and if people are not looking at the screen live, I'll be doing voices to try to get people to understand. So, what's the details? I can have Lydia arrange everything for you. Show is 8 p.m. live in studio, DC area. We could fly you out and get you a motel nearby. We hang out for 2 hours and talk about current events. I could do a group chat to connect you, or if you want, you could just send me your email and we could set it up. I can't fly down to DC. I only do a daily 3-hour show. You don't do any remotes? We set the show up back in January for in-person only. We don't have a way to connect everyone to a Skype call or to display it. Which, wow. We rejected some centrist and right-wing people for the same thing, so I take no issue if it can't be done. We could try to find a time when you're free to travel, but I get it. It's one of the challenges of getting guests. You and Hassan host your own content, so it's probably harder for you, but I appreciate the enthusiasm. Sam, COVID has an effect... What?
I was about to say, you dumbass. You couldn't even do a phone call?
Yeah, not even a phone call either. And by the way, we could do phone calls pretty easily on our show because all we have to do is just set up Skype and I could just put it right through Streamlabs.
Yeah, but he's acting like he lives in like 1900s or something before all this was like invented.
Medieval times, going all the way back to 1145.
Oh, my dear Rita, we have to do an interview through face to face, or else our letters won't come in time.
Okay, COVID hasn't affected your bringing people into studio? No, no one. We actually stopped gusts for a while over it. Rogan never did. Then we started up in the past month or so again. Trump never did either. I guess you roll the dice and hope you don't pull a 7. Maybe if I have a day off. Okay, so in between this, Tim went on Twitter and then accused Sam of like trying to back out of a debate and accusing him of being a grifter and a liar. So Sam immediately goes back to DM him after this, and he goes, I don't know why you suddenly took offense to the above reply. Care to elaborate? You agreed to an in-studio interview for publicity. You lied. I have absolutely no idea you only did in-studio interviews and had no idea you weren't in New Jersey anymore. The last one we did was on Skype. Yes, before this, like a year before 2020, during the pandemic, they actually had a debate on Skype. And it's on YouTube still if you want to watch it. That's the whole Thanos debate. You just wanted to rile up your followers. The tweet said in studio and we cover travel. You dragged me to rile up your followers, then pretended to be serious, then claimed you were busy, then claimed it was COVID. You're full of shit. I didn't see any travel tweet, dude. How in the world would I have accepted tonight as a date if I thought I had to travel from upstate New York starting at 3 p.m. after my show and get back here by 8:30 a.m. to prep for tomorrow's show? That makes no sense. And by the way, Sam does a 3-hour show Monday through Friday, and he lives in Brooklyn. So he would have to go from Brooklyn to New Jersey, from Brooklyn to DC, and then have to go all the way back to New York again. So it's like the guy's got 2 kids. He's a single dad with 2 kids, and he's got a life to lead and everything. He's got a family to look after. So it's like there's not enough time to do this shit. Like to travel all the way from New York to DC in less than 12 hours, and then go all the way back for work again. Bullshit.
Wouldn't it help better if he was closer?
Huh?
Wouldn't it help him moving closer?
They can't. It's like, imagine you're trying to move, like, it's like imagine trying to just stop your entire life just so that you have to travel for a YouTube show. Not that many people do that. Not many people like to travel. And especially in a time period where, like you said, we have Skype, Zoom, all this shit. We don't need to necessarily do in-person interviews anymore. Mm-hmm. But again, this is just a tactic that Beanie Boy likes to use so he can intimidate people. This is one of the reasons why he brings them in. It's like, oh, look at the fantastic compound that I have. Now that you're in my domain, I have the high ground. So it's like, bullshit. You did a segment pulling clips from my studio show. Not to mention, I had to do a pre-record after my regular show. At the time, Sam was also doing a show on Peacock, which is NBC's show. But when Peacock, this was around the time that Peacock first formed, and at the time they didn't really have anything. The only thing they had was shows that you can watch live on the stream and everything. And a lot of the things that were streamable were mostly political shows. And so he did a political show on Peacock for the first year that it was up. A, as far as I remember it wasn't an interview. And B, just because you do one interview in studio, how could I possibly assume that you only do them in studio? The entire channel you pulled from is a live studio show. You have 10 channels. No offense, but I don't follow what shows you have. My producers pull clips and I don't even know if they know. You're lying. You directly criticize my opinion, so either you lie on your show or you're lying now. Yes, I directly criticize your opinions. That's why I'm interested in having a conversation with you. But you don't watch my content, so you're just making shit up. I watch the clips that my producers pull. I've seen plenty of your clips over the years. The ones about Flint, Michigan? What? The one where I pulled the Flint water crisis as a human rights violation. Or the one where I said we need to end the war and use the budget to fix Flint's water crisis. Did I comment on that? Yes. And what did I say? I agree that it's a human rights offense, if not technically, and I'm happy to end war, but we have the money to fix it, and it doesn't have to be tethered to ending wars. In fact, it makes it less likely we'll fix the problem. Did I say we should fix it? No, you dragged me for not talking about it. What?
My head's melting.
Cash. Bubba.
And then here's the set. Here's this was like a 3-page thread. So here's the second one as they're scrolling down. He goes, do you just not do research and say random shit to random clips with no research? It's like, I don't know what you are referring to. It's like, you didn't know what you were commenting on. You never saw my show, and you dragged me for something you claim I didn't talk about but do all the time. If you don't want to do an interview with me because you're mad at my critique of your show, then fine, just say that. But you seem to be changing the topic here. You've never seen my show! When was the video when I said you should talk about Flint more? You used my invitation to trigger your followers, pretending to accept, then privately said no. You're a liar. I've seen portions of your show, Tim. If you, like me, do hours a day, I have not watched every minute you have produced. So you knew it was a live show with multiple people. Tim, I never suggested in public that you didn't extend an invite on my show. I explained that I couldn't do it because it was in studio. Can you yourself told me that you didn't have guests the whole year? You publicly agreed to an in-studio show. I didn't realize it was a studio show, Tim. The tweet said live in studio with travel covered. Or at least I didn't realize that you didn't do remote. You and I did a remote interview, for God's sake. So are you calling me a liar because a tweet I didn't see said travel covered and is supposed to mean no remote interviews? You responded to the tweet. What are you talking about? The tweet said, open the 13th live in studio. You said yes. Does someone else run your Twitter account? Ha, I wish. Hold on, let me find it. And then puts the screenshot right there. And at the time, it's like, okay, I thought he was going to be in the studio. I thought he was going to be live in studio himself, but I thought his guests would be like doing remotes or something. Like he was like, instead of just doing it from your room in your apartment, you're actually going to do it in the studio. It's like, okay, I just saw that. I assumed I could do remote. Tim, I am hours from an airport here. It would take me half a day to get to where you are in DC. What is the first thing I responded with when you DM'd me? I was surprised that you don't do remote interviews because that's what you did for our last interview. That you claim I'm lying seems really hard to believe. Like, what's the lie? You publicly agreed to an in-studio show, then privately said you couldn't travel, then publicly tweeted about COVID fears. Look at my DM. I mentioned concern about COVID in our exchange. And end with, maybe if I have a day off. So you dragged me over fake claims of an airtight studio. Yeah, maybe if I get a day off. Maybe. Tim, I do a cartoon for Fox, Bob's Burgers. No one's going into studios. I filmed on MSNBC for Chris Hayes. There were less people in that studio that are in your studio, and it's about 10 times the size. Maybe you shouldn't publicly try to drag me unless you know what you're talking about. If I want to drag you, how about how irresponsible that is? I wouldn't have dragged you for it. The restrictions here are lifted for what we are doing, and we are following all the guidelines. You don't know what you're talking about. I have friends at hospitals in New York. They're all preparing for a second wave in about 2 weeks. Again, this was during the pandemic when there was no vaccines and we were still locked down, and there was fears of a second wave happening during the cold winter that was coming. They just shut down my daughter's school. Like I said, I didn't drag you for what you're doing. I wrote that was the reason why I wasn't prepared to put myself at risk. Then maybe you should actually read before agreeing. You cited Rogan. I heard he is testing. Is that true? Are you testing before each show? Are you denying that when you said no leftists don't accept your invitation, that you neglected to mention it was because of travel and COVID concerns? And then here's the last one. Okay, I'm going to skip a little bit because it's like some of the stuff that we just talked about. Sorry, it's loading. He goes, I don't believe Rogan is testing anymore. Not for a while. We are following the appropriate guidelines. In fact, we are cleared for 50 people in studio. I'm sorry, 50 people in a studio during a pandemic at the time that we were going through? Not even I would do that, even if the things are like stuff like that. Like, there's no way that you should ever be doing that. That's not why leftists are rejecting. That's why you and Hassan rejected. Vosh is down and so is Matt Binder. Seems to be no issue for them. I'm significantly older than both of them, A. B, I do a daily show that cannot be moved or done outside of my studio. C, are you now saying I'm afraid to talk with publicly and I'm using travel as an excuse? Sam, either you're an idiot or you're lying. Pick one. You publicly agreed to an in-studio show. He keeps harping back on this thing. Like, that seems to be like his only gripe. Oh, Tim, only idiots would engage with you this way. Now you're just trying to find an excuse. An excuse for what? Having to actually show up. Why would I not want to show?
Oh my god.
Why would I?
This guy is ridiculous.
I know he is. Why would I not want to show up but for the reasons I've stated? Which is it? You didn't read the tweet, you have work, you are worried about COVID, or all of the above. Seems like in any scenario you never seriously considered doing the show. You just wanted Twitter drama.
There's a pandemic going on. Thousands are dying. We didn't have a fucking vaccine. Nobody wants to show up and get sick because of this stupid interview. It's not worth it, you stupid idiot. God.
Hey, you just want drama. You just want drama.
You got the fucking clown over here fucking yelling at you, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. What a good.
I know, not just a clown, a goddamn circus yelling at you.
Yeah, an entire circus.
Exactly. Circus the goddamn clown. What the fuck is wrong with you? Millions are dying. Fuck off. Nobody wants to take that risk.
Goes even further.
Fuck you, who? Just that needs to be a thing. Just you hear the little horn, and then
he's pissing me off. He's triggered me right now.
Oh, there's more. I didn't interpret your tweet as meaning it's exclusively in studio, and I can't travel because of the above reasons. Okay, I get you have your unbreakable format, fine, but I ask again, why would I not want to show up but for the reasons I've stated? Because your intent was drama, conflict on Twitter. I don't give a shit about the Twitter dumb drama. Believe me, I am very interested in us talking again. Look, I am not and have not knocked your format. If that's your format, I can respect it. I was expressing all the reasons that made it too heavy a lift for me. I'm happy to have you on my show if that will be a show of good faith, no travel involved. Points right to no travel involved, because unlike Tim, Sam does do Zoom conferences with people and even does phone calls.
Oh, don't get me started on that fucking whole Skype shit again.
Yeah.
How the fuck? Can't download Skype or fucking Discord to talk to somebody. Are you that stupid?
Yeah, and he's like that.
you can't flex on someone if they're not with you in person.
Yeah, because he's got to flex on people live. He can't flex because remember the last interview he had with Sam was over Skype, and that was because he used Thanos, and then he made himself look like a fool over Skype. So he's like, well, if I actually show myself live with him, then maybe I can get him better the next time. Maybe it was because the fact that I was not actually like 6 feet in front of him. Maybe that was the issue. I'm like, no.
Dude, this ain't Jerry Springer. You can't fucking get it your way every time.
You're
gonna
can't
have
go
to
in there with a metal chair.
Exactly. This ain't fucking wrestling, dude.
I like it
Here
so.
comes Sam Cedar with a suplex.
That's not fair. That's an illegal move.
Clown.
That's an illegal move. The suplex is not allowed. This is drama. He's been doing drama. He's been cheating.
Tim, don't make me get my fucking Uncle Pennywise on the fucking phone on you.
Wow, even Mr. L is like 50 people? Damn, hell no.
Yeah.
He's like Tim Pool
Hey, Mr.
crying. Good. Jordan Carroll. Basically, people like Tim Pool's philosophy is, I can't do anything I want, but you can't.
And Mr. L's like, rain check. Tim, get the
called
fuck
her-
over it.
It's like, yes, well, we could pick up this.
We all need a rain check right now, probably.
No, and the funny thing is, after the debate with him and Beanie Boy and Emma was over, it's like, look, Sam is willing to do a debate with you if you'll have him. It's like, hey, listen, all of these big name podcasters and all these big name YouTube channels don't want to do debates with him because he's a grifter. And it's like, no, because it's like, can you name the high profile podcasters and shows? No, I'm not. That's their business. And it's like, oh, so you can't name them, Tim. You can't actually name the people that are saying they don't want to do a show with Sam.
Was this guy like a skateboarder in his youth and he fell on his fucking head when he was doing a trick or something.
No, he's still a skateboarder in real life. This guy's got a half pipe underneath his house that's like used for the Olympics.
Okay, maybe he
everything.
did fall on his fucking head a few times.
Rainbow Castle. Oh man, that's gay, and I'm all for it. Thank you, Mr. L. I knew it was appropriate to do the Rainbow Castle one on Mario Party or Mario Party, but
Yeah.
and then later after the interview is like, hey, listen, Sam's willing to do an interview with you, debate with you again. Look, it's not so much the fact that he's a bad. It's not the fact that Sam's not it's not that because he doesn't have facts or everything. It's just because he's a dick. Well, it's like, well, maybe he's both. Maybe he's a dick, but he's also factually correct on things. Maybe that's why people think he's a dick, because he corrects them on things that are false.
Well, if you could be a dick, I'm going to be a bitch. Dude, you need to fucking stop trying to force people to come somewhere when there's a pandemic.
Yeah.
We don't want another fucking Black Death on our hands.
That's not dick behavior. That's just looking after yourself and your family.
I'm talking to him. He wants them to be there. Come on.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, too. It's like, you can't knock people for not want to be there, especially considering he was trying to get people all the way from California to come all the way from the West to the East Coast. Even one Twitch streamer was like, dude, I live with my... Look, I have a mansion and my mother lives with me. And she's like 80 years old. There's no way that I'm going to all of a sudden just drop everything I'm doing because she was more acceptable to COVID than I am. Like, why would I risk that?
Hell, the person in the fucking text thing you were talking about just now fucking had a kid who had their fucking school closed down. So, of course, they're going to have to be there for their kid as well.
Yeah. Sam has two kids. So he's taking care of two kids by himself. He's a single dad, so he's got to look after them. And, of course, because the fact that they live in New York and having to go all the way down to D.C. before he moved to West Virginia, like, that shit's not easy to do. It's like a train, or taking the train is not really that fun, but just taking a flight all the way over there is not that fun.
Especially with kids.
Yeah. And there was
how young were they? Like, I mean, one of them was in school, but, like...
Well, one of them just graduated high school, and the other one is about in elementary school right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay. Elementary school kid on a plane would not be fun.
And
it's not as bad as, like, a baby, because, like, they'd be able to understand, like, the ear pop thing, but, like...
Yeah.
Still not a good...
Yeah, you can say the older kid can watch the other one while they're, like, in the same state and shit, but still... You really don't want to risk it to a fucking pandemic.
Yeah, no. So, and by the way, Sam had been showing those tweets for 3 years, because on his show he was like, "Listen, I got these DMs from Beanie Boy, but I'm not gonna reveal them on there because I'm not gonna be petty and show this type of shit." But then finally, like he showed them because finally he's like, you know what? Beanie Boy is completely talking about these DMs and misconstruing our conversation. So you know what? The floodgates are open now. So Tim, I try to take the high road with this, but now fuck it. You wanna play that game? Then fine.
Here's the receipts, motherfucker.
Yeah, here are the receipts. And then when the receipts were released, people looked at them and people said, "Oh my god, Beanie Boy is petty as shit. He just can't handle the fact that he can't handle the fact that there's somebody that wanted to be on his show but then realized they couldn't do an in-person one, got mad that he wasn't going to be on his show anymore." Oh, poor baby. And it's like, oh man, and everyone was like, "Oh, Sam did you a favor, dude." And now he was trying to be so nice to you, and now look what you've done.
Mr. L, Beanie Boy, now more like little bitch boy.
Yeah, I mean this completely this totally made him look bad in the eyes of for most people online. Like the reaction from most people online that are not Tim Pool's own fans, They just looked at him as like, wow, now we have more of a reason to think that he's just a childish baby man that has incel energy. Because apparently this guy is not in a relationship at all. So he's like pure single. And like the most people that he has on his show that are guests are mostly just other men. Maybe, you know, if it's really bothering Tim all that much, listen. You know what really helped two masculine guys get together and, you know, realize that how much love they have for each other? They went in a sauna. And they spent... they spent...
Good lord.
It's okay to be gay.
Yeah.
Look, it's all right to be gay. Come out of the closet. We ain't gonna fucking bitch at you.
Look, I understand that you like to be other round masculine guys. It's okay. Just go in the look, it's okay to be around other masculine men. It's all right. And I know you have a few women on your show, but let's face it, they're not going to date you any more than your exes dated you. It's okay. Just embrace it, okay? Just because you're all masculine does not mean that you can't think, you know, you can't have meaningful relationships with each other. Look, a sauna might help. It helped for those two guys. It might not necessarily help with you. Maybe saunas are not your thing. Maybe you just need to have an emotional moment on the skate ramp where it's just the two of you with your skateboards and your wheels have been interlocked and you're trying to get the wheels interlocked from each other. And then you just look into each other's eyes and you realize that what you had was really right there all along. And maybe you could sing a love serenade in the Nickelback form, and then maybe he'll be so grossed out by it, but then touched by it.
No. Last thing we need is to hear this guy singing. Look at this photograph.
My heart is beating so fast right now. I'm laughing so hard.
There's a very specific song that we need for this. I'll say when I get it.
Okay. Oh, Mr. L's up. Mr. L is up for the sauna. Look, Mr. L, you're gonna have to find your own friends to get into the sauna with, because unfortunately we're not that close.
Mr. L, can I watch you with the other guy?
But the door will be
guy on guy action.
But the door will be closed. It's a closed door sauna.
I don't give a shit. I like watching me some guy on guy.
Hey, the door might have a window in it.
Woo!
I mean,
well, we know.
For context, if anybody's wondering, check out one of the episodes for our Danganronpa episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
For context.
Well, here's the thing, Mr. L. He makes music that sounds like Nickelback, but it's a lot shittier.
Well, I wish I could play the song, but due to copyright, I can't. But I'll have to link.
We can always link it in the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to link. Although I don't really want to promote his music. You know what I'll do? I'll promote the video that Emma did where they made fun of it. How's that sound?
That's better.
Because because you're gonna get much better stuff from that. Because that's what really set him over the edge with Emma. Because it's like, how dare you make fun of my music?
Don't be a bitch, babe.
That's like, you can joke about it. Like, just joke around with the fact that people just think your music's shitty. Like, don't take it so personally.
God, he just reminds me a lot of Corey Feldman a bit.
Reminds you of what?
Corey Feldman.
Oh, there's even a music teacher that Emma even had a caller call in that's a music teacher that actually reviewed Tim Pool's music and said it was shitty. So when a music teacher is telling you it's bad,
you know you're fucked. You know you're fucked if a music teacher hates your shit.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna put this in the. Yeah, we can watch it later. Oh, I have to sign in to put it into the chat. Holy shit! All right, hold on.
Why don't you send me and I'll send it to the chat?
Hold on, I'm pulling up my own live stream on YouTube and I'll do it through there.
I was about to say I'm already there moderating it.
It's just taking forever because it's like YouTube can get slow when I'm YouTube can get slow when I do that shit. All right, there you go, people. If you want to see Emma, if you want to see Emma get that excited, make fun of his music, there you go. And then you can actually listen to the song and you can tell for yourself. But yeah, there's people that actually have music experience. They took like an Audacity style thing that's a lot better than Audacity, and they actually made the song better than it actually was. But they had to do a lot of editing to get it done. It's a laundryman and it's alive. All right. Oh, what?
We have a running all this.
There's a what?
We have a chicken that's running all this.
Yeah, shit.
Unlike Mr. Tim.
Oh my god! I don't ever want to see beanies ever again. Don't even don't show me beanies anymore. Like, I'm ashamed to even be a part of. I'm thank God I'm not a human being, because you know what I would do? That he would not even last one day on a chicken coop. He would not. He would lose his shit. He would absolutely lose his shit. Like, he'd be like, hey, get those eggs out of that chicken coop. He'd be like, it's not fair. The chickens, they actually are attacking me. They're hitting me with their beaks. And like, oh, just go in there and grab them. But it's like, the chickens are stirring up drama. It's just drama on their part. It's like, my God, Beanie Boy.
At least they're not the other chickens that try to kill you when you attack them.
Beanie Boy probably accidentally hit one of the chickens and was like, oh, now it's out for murder. Like, no, why is it doing
one
that?
Of the Legend of Zelda chickens.
Yes.
Zelda chickens.
Yeah, the cuckoos. Yeah, that's what I was referencing. Those damn chickens that would kill you every time you attack them.
It would just remind me of the rooster that was out to get my aunt when she was a kid.
The Legend of Beanie Boy: A Link to the Deathly Chickens.
That sounds like a pretty fucked up. That sounds like a pretty fucked up game. That sounds like a pretty damn fucked up game title.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, real men wear cowboy hats or anything besides a beanie hat. Well, no, not real men don't even wear cowboy hats.
Sad yeehaw.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. L, I think we know your fetish. Men in cowboy hats.
Or in my eyes, a part 3 Jotaro hat from JoJo.
Sketchity saying, "Are you playing Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild?" I played Breath of the Wild.
Tears, not
Tears of the Kingdom, not Tears.
Yeah. Don't let them trick you like they did with the shampoo.
You mean the shampoo?
Yeah, we came up with a new word, people, while we were away.
Oh yeah, I also came up with Optimus Crime.
Yeah.
That's what happens when I watch. That's what happens when I watch the Transformers movie. But no, I have not played Tears of the Kingdom. I don't have the game. I played Breath of the Wild, but I barely made it that far because it's way too. It's the thing about Zelda games is that I don't know what it is about Zelda games. Like, I think they're amazing to look at, and I like watching gameplays of it. But just playing the games myself, I'm not necessarily a fan of that style of gameplay. Like, open world is way too much for my brain to handle, which is why I don't play a lot of open world games. Same reason why I haven't played the Grand Theft Auto games. It's like way too much to do. Like, my brain can only handle so much. Like, and because of the fact that I also am in like 100% completionist mode, it just takes the fun out of it. Because I'm always like, oh, I got to get every single item, and if I don't, it doesn't feel complete. And I'm like, oh, I can't play this because it's like that. Because my brain gets like that.
Jeez, it's like me in Vice City, but instead of like instead of me doing like the missions like I'm supposed to, I just wake up and choose violence.
The hat isn't necessary, only the person is, Mr. L is saying. Fun fact, take the eggs to a hot spring to get a boiled egg. Ooh. I did not know that that was a way to start making some scrambled eggs.
Well, actually, if you do that, they're more like, it makes the yolk look pink, though, I think.
I think I'm going to drop out the show right now, guys. My stomach is at it again.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we're in
All
the
right,
fun
see you
half
guys.
anyway, so bye.
All right. Bye.
Later.
All right, so fun half now, considering that we did our little piece. Sorry. So yeah, July's coming up, and I'm excited. But the hat isn't necessary; only the person is. Hey, listen, you do you, Mr. L. Now, one of the things I'm going to try to do, like, during July is I'm going to play some Origami King, because that's been one of my traditions since I got it back in 2020. Is like every July I play the game, because Paper Mario Origami King actually grew on me a lot. I consider it one of the better Paper Mario games. And considering there's a lot of great music in that game, it's like the music selection in that game is a lot better than the music selection out of all the Paper Mario games, I should say. Like, it's got like the best quality music in it, and the gameplay goes back to like the earlier Paper Marios, but it's definitely got some of the newer elements in there, and the puzzles are pretty fun to do. And plus like your partners in the game have a lot more character development, and there are some pretty emotional moments in there. Sketchy's like, yeah, I got tired after 100 shrines. Yeah, that's the thing about there are so many temple shrines in like both of those games. Like, God, and I destroyed Ganon with a Lionel bow and ancient arrows.
No, I love how in the first game you could just go and destroy Ganon right out at the start.
Yeah, which is what a lot of speedrunners start doing. Yeah. Now that this TOTK's got it's got vehicles in it now. So my boss has been telling me like, oh man, we've made so many vehicle combinations between me and my daughter. I'm like, wow.
Any Trojan horses?
I don't know. I don't think they've gone the whole Troy route. Mr. L saying, I'm not happy about July. I live in Florida. Damn Republican government. Also, he's losing to Disney because, well, they got money. Yeah. Why do you not like July, Mr. L? Guys, I mean, I'll say I do it because, like I said, July baby and July babies usually stick together. Usually July babies like to get together and they like to do like a full month birthday celebration.
In a crab rave.
Oh, yes. Either that or the crab rave. So, by the way, I gotta watch that video again.
Post it in the chat.
Someone built a helicopter. Oh, they went all Da Vinci in Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, God. Now just imagining Link in a helicopter now. Zelda, listen. Zelda, I've discovered the ways of flying.
Zelda, get to the chopper.
If it bleeds, we can kill it. What the hell are you? Just looking at Ganon after he kills him. Let's see. You could also make hovercrafts. Oh my god, this almost sounds like total Diddy Kong Racing right here. You can have like helicopters, even though there were planes in that game. But you can fly, you could do hovercrafts, so you can like go on water and everything, and now you got cars and the stuff. Like pretty soon Link is going to start opening up his own auto shop. It would not surprise me if Link all of a sudden, like in Mario Kart 8, started getting some like kart upgrades. considering like they've introduced some new characters in Mario Kart 8.
Oh, and have one where it doesn't look like he's too short for it.
Oh, Petey Piranha.
What?
What?
I was saying, like, maybe make it so that he doesn't look too short for the cart. So I remember one of them where he was too short for the... I mean, not too short, too tall.
I don't know.
I mixed it up.
Oh, you can do enemy death traps in it too, and the sky's the limit. Mr. L says they've got a flying and self-driving car coming out for $35K. Nope, don't. Never buy a self-driving car ever.
That's
never,
stupid.
never. You might as well just take public transportation at that point. Which, by the way, is better for society than having a self-driving car. Nothing should be bought by the muskrat. That was made by the muskrat. But look up Korok crucifixion. Why? Why are we crucifying Koroks? I almost said Clorox. Like, oh my God, no! We're gonna be crucifying. Now we're gonna be crucifying like washing detergent. Bleach. Yeah.
We're crucifying bleach. Oh my Lord.
How can we crucify bleach?
Oh, and it's find a way.
Oh.
Oh, and
right, that meme. Okay, so that's referring to a series of videos in which people playing Tears of the Kingdom bully characters known as Koroks by gluing them to sticks shaped like crucifixes and yeah.
Not good.
It's just really weird.
That's putting it lightly.
Hold on, I'm trying to get the video to...
Oh, and the car's electric. Well, of course it is, because that's the way we should be going. By the time, yeah, I would hope to get an electric car for my next car, because that would be great. Yeah, because you never have to worry about gas ever again.
It's not one from Crybaby.
Oh, no, not from Crybaby. Because other motor companies are making their own electric cars. Crybaby's mad because everyone else is doing it. It's like, no, I should be the only one that does it. I know some people that need the old nails and cross combo. Yes, national transportation is a good thing, and it should not be. It should not be reform. It should be more like an actual thing. Like, can you imagine if you just were able to take the bus, and it'd be like, oh, buses are everywhere. Like there are more buses on the streets than cars. Like, only take a car in need of emergencies. You'd be like, okay, I could take the bus here, I could take the bus there, I can get there in no time, it's free. I don't have to, I could take the train if I'm really going, like, somewhere fast, and the train doesn't cost all that much. Like, yeah, it would make things a lot easier, and, like, the more public transportation you get, the more, like, communicative you get with people, and you make more friends that way.
All right, I'm sorry. I gotta share what else happened. So not only are people doing that with Koroks, but very creative ways to bully them.
Oh God! So now it's just pure torture. Oh, I was about to say they're most likely Reddit people that are doing this, right?
Oh no, it's on this one's on Twitter.
By the way,
it's on Twitter, it's on TikTok.
And by the way,
no mention of Reddit.
Speaking of Reddit, did you hear about the Reddit thread that was trending recently?
No.
Okay, so there's a Reddit thread. Hold on, I'm looking up the name of it. Give me a second. It's a Reddit thread called True Rate Me. So So there are various places where you could post a picture of yourself and get yourself rated or get tips on how you can improve your physical appearance. However, r/true rate me has boiled this down to a science. Using skull measuring, they have created a scale of 1 to 10 that looks at nose shape, jaw, eyes, among other things, to decide how good looking you are, and the results are as you expect. And of course, there's many issues with it, but this has been going around for a while over the weekend, and it's basically a lot of incels are the ones that are doing the ratings, but they claim to be physical appearance scientists when really they're just lonely small dick energy fuckboys. So there's that. Oh, even make it cute with small towns and trolleys. Oh my god, can you imagine if we lived in a town where there was just trolleys everywhere? Like, you know what? I feel like taking the trolley over to, like, the local board game place where there, there's, like, board games all over, and then there's, like, people doing, like, their own songs. Not Beanie Boys type of songs, but they're doing, like, cover songs of, like, pop, like, cover bands.
That actually would be preferable for the area where I live, because a lot of assholes have come over this season, and summer barely started and there was already a 5-car accident.
Great. But can you imagine if we had something like that, where it's had, like, people sing, people can play board games, and if you want to drink, there's, like, definitely some beer preferences and other things. There's, like, a restaurant that's nearby if you want to go eat somewhere that's affordable, and then you just take the trolley back to your neighborhood where there's, like, a bus that can take you back to your house and everything. You don't need your car. Sketchy saying, sounds like eugenicists. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they supported that movement over on that Reddit thread, but I would not recommend anybody check it out, but I would definitely say look out for that thread because it's been gaining some traction online, and it's like one of the only few Reddit threads that still exist after the whole Reddit apocalypse happened. Mr. L wants universal healthcare, damn it. Yeah, most people do too, and everybody's getting on that getting on that train. Oh, so let me see. My birthday will actually be in 2 weeks.
Ooh, that's exciting.
On a Friday of all nights. So I don't know if we'll do a birthday show or not. But we probably will. It'll all depend on what my plans are. But if I know me, I'll probably just go ahead and make a very delicious pasta dish. Because that's one of the things I want to do. I want to make a baked ziti from scratch. Which I have never done before. I've made meatballs from scratch. I've made a meat sauce from scratch. I've made a ricotta pasta from scratch. But I've never made a baked ziti from scratch. I've helped make lasagna when I was a kid, but never a baked ziti. And even then, the way that I made lasagna back then was not the preferred way to do it. So I'm like, I gotta get this right this next time. God, that's a lot of accidents on that bridge.
Yeah, and that was all on the same day.
Damn.
I'm grateful that I don't live close to there, but, like, that's, like, the only way out of the area where I live.
Yeah. Okay, then, so... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. And then for the subreddit for the area I grew up in, there's been a lot of threads about, yeah, we're getting a lot of assholes here. Like, people who are stopping in the middle of the road. People who are reversing in areas they shouldn't be reversing. Just being like stupid assholes while driving. So yeah, I'm glad I don't get out much.
Don't, but one of these days, hopefully, in a few years, we can get this public transportation thing to happen, so we can do a lot more shit.
Yeah, it definitely needs to happen. Oh.
So I have an idea of what we can talk about next week. I'll have to see if anything more happens with it before doing so. But I don't know if anybody's seen the Colleen Ballinger apology.
I think I might have heard about it, but I haven't really watched it. Was that the one where it looked like she was going to play a ukulele or something?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw the thumbnail for someone talking about it.
Yeah, but apparently it's considered the worst YouTube apology of all time. So we will definitely talk about that. And if we're lucky, we can actually play the whole thing.
If not, read the transcript over funny music.
Oh god! So we're gonna have to find the music, and we're gonna have to find somebody who can terribly sing. I could do that. I'm a bad singer, so.
Oh, playing that over. Oh wait, no, we can't because it's. I was gonna say this.
Can we do it over the
SpongeBob song that was?
I was about to say, can we do the SpongeBob song? But I mean, that hasn't gotten that.
Back hop.
Yeah, but even then, that hasn't gotten copyrighted by the person who uploaded it. So I don't know. Maybe I could do something better. Maybe I could just take the audio file and just play it over. But then again, you would have to listen to it, so it probably wouldn't work out that way. I don't know. We'll have to see what events transpire over the. We'll have to see what events transpire over the weekend before we go into more stuff. Maybe there will be something else that'll come up in the meantime.
No, you are baby.
What, Elliot's getting all like row.
Yeah, he's trying to take my headphones again. Okay, honey, you'll get your comforter back soon.
Kona's going to be upset tomorrow because her best friend is going to be leaving on her birthday.
Oh.
Because we've been watching over my sister's dog for the week, and so she's leaving tomorrow. And Kona's like, "Oh, you're leaving on my birthday?" I was like, "Yes." Just got to go back home. Yeah, Kona has been very weird this past week. She does not like to go for walks that much anymore. And we're like, well, you got to go to the bathroom. And she's like, no, I want to go back inside in the house where it's cool.
Oh, yep. Yeah, I get. Are you walking on any asphalt or?
Yes.
Oh, that's probably part of it, because dogs have very sensitive, like the pad of their paws are very sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And asphalt can get very hot, and it's probably hurting her, because like the best way to check is like touch it with your forearm. If it's too hot for you to touch, then it's way too hot for a dog.
So we'll have to probably go in the backyard where there's all grass.
Yeah. Or like if you can find little doggy shoes.
Oh, that'll be something my mom will be like, oh, that would be fun to do.
Yeah, before we lost Frosty, I was going to suggest that we get little shoes for him, because he did not like getting his paws wet, and he wasn't very good on walking in the on the road either.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know if how Kona would react to it. Probably might. I don't know.
Maybe.
She'll definitely walk on like wets. She'll definitely walk after rain happens. Because she gets like that. But it's her. She's turning 9 tomorrow.
Aww. She's around Lola's age. It's cute.
Thank you. I don't know if my mom's gonna do anything for her, but probably just be like, "Okay, Kona, we're gonna give you more food than usual." Like anytime we have pizza, she wants to eat it. Every time we have like a pasta dish, she wants to eat it.
Oh, that reminds me. There are certain people food that is given to dogs, and if you see something that says birch sugar, that's what what they've rebranded this artificial sweetener.
Oh.
Can't remember the name of it, but it starts like xylitol.
I don't know.
It's the stuff that they put in gum.
Okay, like the juicy fruit style gum.
Like just gum in general, like
Okay.
yeah, xylitol. That is an artificial sweetener that's toxic to dogs that they're calling birch sugar now.
Yeah. We'll have to look out for that then. Not considering that we would feed her any of that, but it's always good to look out for it. Don't want anything bad to happen to her.
Right.
Okay. Wait. Is the Sketchity saying xanthum gum? Like XANTHUM?
No, it hold on, copy pasted what it's called.
There you go. There you go, Sketchity.
Oh.
It's like
a little shroom boar. Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, considering it's gonna be July, like I said, I might hop on here solo-wise and start streaming us Origami King, just because it's a tradition of mine to play it every July. It's been a tradition now for the past. This will be the 4th year that I played it, so I'm looking forward to it. And I specifically play it on July because that when the game was released, and it just seems like a summer game to play. It just has like a lot of summer vibes to it. So I wait till then to do it because if I do it any other time of the year, it just doesn't feel right. There's just some games you play during specific times of the year, and that's one of them. Which, by the way, is going to make me excited for when RPG comes out in November. I'm like, oh, that is going to be so much fun to play. I was contemplating getting Pikmin like 1 and 2 on the Switch, but then I saw like getting both games. It's the equivalent of getting Pikmin 4. So I'm like, I'll just wait till Pikmin 4 comes out because I'm more interested in playing Pikmin 4, even though I love Pikmin's 1 and 2.
All right.
All right. Well, anyway, we might as well end the show because we're getting close to time. So, next week we'll probably, unless anything else comes up, we'll probably do the worst apology YouTube video of all time. I'll try to find out more information on it, and if anything else comes up afterwards, then we'll definitely talk about some other stuff. Yeah, so we got some ideas for things. So anyway,
Everyone take care.
Yeah, we'll catch you all guys. If I do something during the weekend, you'll catch me then. But on Wednesday, you'll see us with Chapter 4 of Danganronpa. And then we'll be back on Friday with another podcast episode. So good night, everybody. We'll see you in July.